Release control art restriction 0.
時間の彼方に追いやるつもりか。
Do you think that women want equality when it's convenient but are happy to revert to traditional gender roles when it's not?
Wouldn't anybody do that? Isn't that like a normal human behavior?
Well, right, but just because you can take candy from a baby, does that make it right?
No, but I think humans don't always work on right and wrong.
Yeah, guys, right and wrong. What even are morals in 2021? Honestly, what even are those things? But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, we're looking at a video submission through the Patreon titled Patriarchal Society, The Rules of Modern Dating and Understanding Women by the It's Complicated channel once again. Now, we looked at this channel yesterday, and I want to say this guy's interviews, I've had a look at a few of them. They're pretty good. They're definitely a great watch, so be sure to check out his channel if you haven't already. But before we crack into it, guys, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord, link in the description if you haven't already, to join our chat community. And if you'd like to support the channel, guys, as always, a great way to do that is through the Patreon. You get access to exclusive videos and stuff like that. There's a bit of a library going on over there at the moment, so if you're interested in that, be sure to come and join. But let's see what these people have to say.
What is patriarchy and why do so many women complain about it?
Well, can you please define patriarchy?
Okay. Would you agree that patriarchy is defined as a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think women complain about it because it's prevalent and real in our society, and it's, women face that every day.
The patriarchy is the systematic and societal favoritism to masculine traits rather than feminine traits. So I personally am bothered by the patriarchy because in society, and it's not even just something that women should be upset about, men should be upset about it as well, because it prevents them from fully being their best selves as well, because that's why so many men, when it's like, oh, like, men can't wear dresses, they can't do all that, they can't do things that are considered feminine, or at least that's what society tells us, because it would be emasculating to them, and they have to maintain the sense of masculinity. But on the other end of the spectrum, women, when they want to pursue more masculine things, it affects both genders as much, both sexes, I would say, both sexes as much as it, does women. Men get affected as much. It's just not as talked about.
Yeah, here's the thing, okay? You want to switch these masculine and feminine roles? That's fine. Just don't expect to find a husband or a guy that actually wants to settle down with you. You see, all of these girls, wouldn't it be great if we could just switch the masculine and the feminine traits, and people could do whatever they want? Let me tell you this: very few guys want a masculine woman, guys. Guys who go to work, they go out the entire day, they come home. They don't want to come home to a second boss. Okay, so, you can sit here and you can say, well, men are affected because they can't be feminine and women are affected because they can't be masculine. It's like, what makes you think that either gender wants that in the opposite one? Now, of course, there's going to be exceptions to the rule, but at the end of the day, when you hit 30, 35, you've got a crew of cats accumulating, and you're thinking, where are all the good men, and you've got no ring on your finger, you'll know exactly what to attribute that to.
But I personally am bothered by it because I feel it's hard for me to be seen as respected in the world because of my femininity.
I think patriarchy is...
I don't think femininity makes you any less respectable. In fact, I think that women who exhibit femininity are often some of the most respectable people. Guys, matriarchs in the family, particularly like, those old grandmothers, guys that like cook all the meals and have looked after the kids and whatever the case may be, those are some of the most respected positions in a family unit. Okay, so it's this whole thing about femininity not being respected. No, men actually really like feminine women. You would be surprised how much men actually like feminine women. There's very few of them going around today, though.
Is when men just kind of dominate things, and I think it's interesting that women complain about it, but also want to stay at home.
Not
Because
all women.
I have a career. I'm 24 years old. I'm an engineer. I live on my own. But I'm also like, I kind of just like want to be a stay-at-home mom at some point and chill out. But I'm not. But I can't. It would be so hypocritical of me if I was like, oh, men shouldn't go out in the workforce and go be a career person. I think everyone has equal.
That would be like the
opportunities.
opposite of patriarchy, and I think the point is not to do the opposite. The point is for it to be equal, and the reason why women complain about the patriarchy is because it's prevalent in our society, and women
How is it
face-
prevalent? What is it? What does it do?
What gender have every single one of our presidents been?
Yes.
That's the patriarchy.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Yeah, and not to quote Mr. Jordan Peterson directly here, guys, but then okay, fine. What percentage of the prison population is male? What percentage of passing away voluntarily rates are male? What percentage of people who work outdoors in dangerous conditions are male? You see, like, and again, not to just directly quote Mr. Jordan Peterson here, but it seems as though they only want to equalize positions of power, and they're not too interested in equalizing any of the other positions that don't have power involved, such as working outdoors, being a plumber, an electrician, or something like that. And they also don't want to accept any of the responsibility that comes along with those positions, right? You see how this is, at the end of the day, guys, when you look at this for what it really is, all it is it's a power grab. That's all it is. It's a complete and utter power grab. And I will say this as well. So a lot of girls will complain about, oh, how come men earn more? How come men do this? You know what? Men work longer hours. They work more difficult positions. Okay, and if you didn't know already, if you work a small percentage of extra hours compared to the average person, you earn a significant amount more. Okay, so men are doing all of these things, but women want to be able to do less and be paid the same. Please do your research if you haven't already on the wage gap myth, guys. It blows my mind that people still believe in the wage gap in 2021. That crap was disproven back in like the 70s, or like probably even before then, to be honest with you.
This about that, right? Do you think that the only qualification to be president should be just being a woman?
So actually, my mom and I was
I think because men are viewed as leaders and power figures based on our society set up is why people are more likely to vote for men, because if you look at interviews, even some women are like, because women shouldn't be leaders, they're too emotional, and that's because society has set it up that way. And men are viewed as leaders. That's why the vast majority of men, or all of the business leaders, the presidents, they're everything. They're always at the top.
I've never once said that about any woman. First, second of all, my mom and I were just having this conversation because she's writing a book about successful lead like a woman, and we were just talking about how when you get into the workforce, that this generation does have more women. We just haven't had the time to where we're in those positions yet. Right. And I bet in 20 or 30, but as a society, if you look at it, we're changing. You just have to give it that time, because back in the day, and actually, speaking of, okay,
and it's changing because women are complaining about the patriarchy.
So when men all went off to war, all of the women worked, made all the money, got all the bacon, and then there wasn't that many men in the workforce because they all kind of died because of the war or things. And then when they came back, the women, I forget, someone explained this to me, but it was pretty much like our choice of going back. Like, we were doing just fine running everything.
So you're saying
Okay, that was just outright painful to watch. Honestly, I don't have a much logical disagreements to give these people, because quite frankly there are just too many things wrong with what was said right there. But what I will say is this: you guys ever play video games, and they've got ranks in the video games like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and it goes up and up kind of thing, right? And obviously, like, the majority of people who are bad at the game or have no idea about what's going on, they're stuck in bronze and silver. What this reminds me of is just like two bronze or silver players in a video game just arguing with each other about what decision is better to make, but they're both wrong. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they're both bronze and silver, and they have no idea what's going on. That's all I really have to say about that. I honestly can't be bothered dissecting that. I need to be going to bed soon. Guys, discussions like this that these two are having, I don't have the patience for. I really absolutely don't.
Wasn't that kind of like, you know,
Historically, yeah.
Historically, okay. So then isn't patriarchy just the natural evolution of men and women just giving into their expected roles?
I mean, historically, a lot of things happened that weren't right. You know.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to challenge this idea. Why is patriarchy seen as such a bad thing when women always expected men to provide?
I don't expect men to provide.
Well, right, but
yeah, he's talking about women. So let's just say, for example, that you are the exception. You're probably not, but let's just say you are an exception. He's still referring to women. Okay, so how come women, on average, expect men to earn more than them to be in a relationship with them? Guys, they've done studies where they look at what women prefer in men as far as, you know, fiscally speaking, and women prefer men who earn more money than them. Women prefer men who can provide for them. Okay, women are attracted to protector-like qualities. They like a man who's taller than them. They like a man who's stronger than them. They like a man who's more affluent than them, that earns more money than them, that has more societal connections to them, you know, higher status and stuff like that. All of these things. And this woman is going to sit here and tell you that, you know what? She's different, guys. She's not attracted to those things. You know, women are not into guys who protect them and provide for them. That's just, you know, that's just a myth, right?
But historically, women did.
Well, that was just because.
That was what we were told to do. To be honest, we weren't allowed to do stuff as a woman.
Well, no, I'm saying hopefully we can change that now. But my point is, I'm saying that basically isn't the idea of patriarchy oppressing women based on a false premise? If women wanted men to provide, and so I'm just saying men went into the productive sphere and they built business empires, things like that. So now they're going to be leaders of industry because that's what they have been doing for the past 100 years.
Well, as a counterpoint to you real quick, it's not that we wanted men to provide historically, it's just that we weren't given any opportunities to provide for ourselves.
Yeah, that's why women are just biologically, guys, yeah. Obviously, women are not biologically drawn to protectors, guys. That's just some made-up BS. Hey, guys, if you want to have no job, if you want to not hit the gym, look like a piece of crap, you know, if you want to have no friends, all of these things, you want to have a horrible personality, and you want to have women be attracted to you, guys, you know, that's totally reasonable to expect because, you know, women aren't attracted to those things. They don't demand those things. It's just absolute BS, man. Guys, I forget what it's called. I think it's called like Briffault's Law or something like that. That's probably a complete butchering of the name right there. But women are interested in men who actually can bring something to the table, right? If a woman has a choice between a man who is affluent and a man who is not, she's going to choose the affluent man, notwithstanding all other, you know, other characteristics. Don't let women like trick you into this thing of, oh, we were told to believe in this. We had no choice. So no, women are attracted to what they're attracted to, guys. It is a biological thing. They want to say, oh, we were told to be attracted to this. It's because we couldn't work. No, women are attracted to men who can protect, and the reason for that is because when they are having a child, they are out of commission. As a biological organism, they can't fend for themselves while they're giving birth or raising a child. It's just not possible.
Yeah, if you want to talk about a hunter-gatherer sense, sure. Men would typically, and by the way, not all the time, because there's actually more historical evidence than people give credit for women hunting. But let's go ahead and assume you're correct, and that only men hunt. Sure, maybe, but that's not correct. But let's go ahead and assume that. Women actually produced a lot of the tools and the clothing that men used to hunt. So they were actually producing most of the economy. So, if we look at a patriarchy, is it that men are producing more? No, not at all. It's just that they decided they wanted to take credit for it. But let's go. Next
I have absolutely no words for that.
question.
But now you don't see that in society. You see women my age where honestly, it's 50-50. Like,
that's
in the
because women are
workforce.
trying to change it. That's the whole point.
We already are. It's not even trying. We are changing it.
And
you just have to give it time and stop bitching.
Okay, let me ask a few
and
more.
just be thankful.
Let me ask you a
and
few
work
more.
hard.
This woman right here is fuming.
Let me ask you a few more questions that I think we'll get to an interesting point here, and this is what I'm really curious to see what you think. Okay, so now that we define patriarchy, do you think that patriarchy is the cause of gender roles, or is it the result of gender roles?
I think it's an excuse.
I think it's the result.
Okay, so then here's what I want to know. Historically, weren't men in the productive sphere while women were in the reproductive sphere? Okay, so isn't patriarchy just the natural evolution of men and women just giving into their expected roles?
Again, I think that goes back to survival. Like, those were the roles that
We're
we
still
needed to survive
surviving.
back in the
How
day.
are
But
we
again,
not
today, we don't need those things. Women don't
How are
need
we
to have
not
children.
surviving?
Like, women can go
Why
out and
do
do
we
all the
not need
things
to
that
have
men
children?
do. You don't need to fall into those gender roles
But that's what makes
anymore.
us special. Men can have children.
I feel like I feel like, and I'm not saying this to be rude to these two people. I feel like I'm just watching two toddlers. Like I'm, like really, like if you're babysitting two kids or something like this, this is what I imagine that to be.
I want to do something they can't do.
Okay, but not every woman wants to have a child, and they shouldn't have to.
I never said they had to.
Okay.
I said I want to.
Okay, let me get to the next question then. Why is patriarchy seen as such a bad thing when women always expected men to provide?
I think that women were taught to expect that.
Yeah, guys, women were taught to expect a man to bring more to the table. It's definitely not a biological thing. Guys, when women say crap like this, it blows my mind. Like, it's like, oh yeah, we're not attracted to men who earn more money, guys. We're not attracted to men who are more affluent. We were just told to be that way. You see what I mean? It's just making excuses for their mating choices and decisions. And this is what like causes so much confusion with men, because like you look at this and if you listen to what they say, like, and you take it on board, you just end up completely lost. But anyway, guys, I think we're going to leave today's video there. That is enough of this one. As always, guys, if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe on your way out. Leave a comment, guys. What do you think? If you disagree with anything I've said, feel free to do so in the comments, guys. That's what they're there for. And as always, guys, I just want to do a quick shout out to the guys over on Patreon. So if you're supporting over there, I just like to say a huge thank you, guys. It's a great way to support the channel, get access to exclusive videos and stuff like that. And I will see you boys in the next one. Peace. Yo guys, it's Taylor here. I just want to say a quick thank you if you made it to the end of the show, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to check out our website, fiendgang.com. It's a great way to stay in touch with the channel, guys. You can see what's going on, you can access our Discord, and it's a great way to support the channel. You can find exclusive content in there, and don't worry, it is shared across with the Patreon, so if you're a Patreon supporter, you're not missing out on any extra videos and vice versa. But it's a great way to stay in touch with me, guys, because as we all know, YouTube is not a fan of free thinking on their platform. So be sure to be checking out that website. If you'd like to support, feel free to do that. And as always, guys, take care of yourselves, put yourselves first, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.